Welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the biggest stories in Hollywood. Today we're exploring Disney's live-action Snow White remake, a film that has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. From casting controversies to geopolitical tensions and a scaled-down premiere, there's a lot to unpack. Stick around as we break it all down. The hype and high expectations. Let's start with the obvious. Disney's Snow White remake was expected to be a massive blockbuster. With a staggering budget of $269 million, a star-studded cast featuring Wonder Woman's Gal Gadot as the evil queen and West Side Story's Rachel Zegler as Snow White, and director Mark Webb at the helm, this film was meant to be another major success in Disney's long-running series of live-action adaptations. Disney has had a mixed track record with these remakes. While The Lion King and Aladdin were box office smashes, others like Dumbo and Mulan struggled to gain traction. So, would Snow White be the next big hit, or a major flop? The casting controversy. One of the first sources of backlash came from the film's casting choices. Rachel Zegler, a rising star, was cast as Snow White, a decision that sparked debate among fans. Some were excited about the fresh take, while others questioned why an actress of Latina descent was chosen for a character traditionally portrayed as having skin as white as snow. Then there was the issue of the Seven Dwarfs. Disney announced a reimagining of these classic characters, opting for a more diverse group rather than traditional dwarfs, a move that some viewed as progressive while others saw it as unnecessary revisionism. Actor Peter Dinklage was particularly vocal, criticizing Disney for what he called a backward approach to representation. Zegler's controversial comments. As if the casting debate wasn't enough, Rachel Zegler's own words fueled even more controversy. In multiple interviews, she described the original 1937 Snow White as outdated, emphasizing that the new version would not focus on romance. She stated that Snow White was not going to be saved by the prince, and called Prince Charming a character she found weird. Many Disney fans were taken aback. To them, Snow White is an iconic story about love, dreams, and fantasy. Critics of Zegler's comments argued that if Disney wanted to tell a completely different story, why not create an original film instead of drastically altering a classic? As backlash mounted, old clips of Zegler resurfaced, where she appeared dismissive toward critics and sarcastic about their concerns. This only added fuel to the fire. Segment 4. Gadot and Zegler's geopolitical stances. The controversy didn't stop there. The film became even more polarizing due to the political views of its leading ladies. Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, has long been a vocal supporter of Israel and previously served in the Israeli military. Following the October 7th attacks by Hamas, she publicly reiterated her stance, which led to a divided reaction online. On the other hand, Rachel Zegler has been outspoken about her pro-Palestinian views since 2021, expressing sympathy for those affected by the conflict. This stark contrast between the film's two biggest stars has led to online clashes among fans, with some even calling for boycotts. With such heated political tensions, Disney found itself in a delicate position, one that no amount of PR spin could easily resolve. Disney's strategic premiere decision. Given all these controversies, it's no surprise that Disney has taken a more cautious approach to the film's Hollywood premiere. Instead of a full-scale red carpet event, the company has opted for a tightly controlled premiere at the El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles. Media access has been strictly limited, with only photographers and Disney's own in-house crew covering the event. External journalists will not be allowed to interview the cast or filmmakers on the red carpet. This decision is unusual for a film of this magnitude. Normally, Disney would want maximum publicity, but this time it seems they're more concerned about controlling the narrative. While lead stars Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler are expected to attend, the lack of press interaction speaks volumes about Disney's cautious strategy. What this means for Disney. So, what does this scaled-back premiere say about Disney's current struggles? For one, it highlights how difficult it has become for the company to navigate modern audiences. In an era where every statement and casting choice is scrutinized, balancing inclusivity, artistic vision, and fan expectations is trickier than ever. It also raises questions about Disney's approach to remakes. Is constantly reimagining classic films the right move? Or is it time for Disney to invest more in original storytelling rather than tweaking beloved tales? The outcome of Snow White at the box office will serve as a crucial test. If it succeeds, Disney might double down on reinterpreting classics. If it fails, it could signal a shift in strategy. Engaging tone. And that wraps up our deep dive into the Snow White remake and the storm of controversies surrounding it. What do you think? Will the film overcome the backlash and be a hit, or is it doomed to fail? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest updates on Hollywood's biggest stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on our channel. Welcome back to our channel, your go-to source for everything happening in Hollywood. Today we're talking about one of Disney's most controversial live-action remakes to date, Snow White. Now, Disney is no stranger to remakes. From The Little Mermaid to The Lion King, they've been reimagining animated classics for a whole new generation. Some have been box office hits, while others have flopped hard. But Snow White? Oh, this one is in a league of its own when it comes to controversy. From major casting backlash and changes to the Seven Dwarfs to lead actress Rachel Zegler's comments that angered fans, and even geopolitical drama between Zegler and co-star Gal Gadot, this film has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. And now, Disney has scaled back its Hollywood premiere, restricting media access in what seems like an attempt to contain the damage. What went so wrong? And what does this mean for Disney's live-action strategy moving forward? Buckle up, because we're breaking it all down right now. The hype and high expectations. Let's rewind to when this project was first announced. Disney has been on a mission to turn its animated classics into live-action films, and Snow White, the one that started it all back in 1937, seemed like an obvious choice. They brought in Mark Webb, best known for the Amazing Spider-Man films, to direct. Rachel Zegler, fresh off her breakout role in West Side Story, was cast as Snow White. And as a big selling point, Wonder Woman herself, Gal Gadot, would play the evil queen. With a jaw-dropping budget of $269 million. Yes, you heard that right, this movie cost more than Oppenheimer. Expectations were sky-high. Disney had hoped for a Beauty and the Beast level success, where the nostalgia of the classic story would combine with modern updates to bring in old and new fans alike. But things took a turn, and fast. Segment 2. Casting Controversy and the Seven Dwarfs Debate. The first wave of backlash came when Rachel Zegler was cast as Snow White. Now, Zegler is undeniably talented. Her performance in West Side Story won her a Golden Globe. But some fans questioned why Disney had chosen an actress of Latina descent for a character famously described as having skin as white as snow. Disney defended the casting choice, emphasizing diversity and modern representation. But this wasn't the only controversy. Then came the Seven Dwarfs. Originally, Disney planned to replace them with a diverse group of magical creatures, seemingly in response to criticism from Game of Thrones actor Peter Dinklage. He had slammed Disney for still telling a story that featured seven dwarfs living in a cave together in the 21st century, calling it regressive. Instead of sticking to the original characters, Disney pivoted to a cast of actors of different ethnicities and heights, only keeping one dwarf in the mix. This decision sparked even more debate. Some supported it, seeing it as progress, while others, including members of the dwarfism community, felt they were being erased from a rare space where they had visibility in film. With this much backlash already brewing, you'd think Disney would have been careful with its PR approach. But then Rachel Zegler started speaking. Rachel Zegler's comments and fan backlash. Rachel Zegler's interviews quickly became another major issue. In multiple interviews, she repeatedly emphasized how different this Snow White would be, calling the 1937 original outdated, and saying, "She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love." Instead, she claimed Snow White would be a strong leader who wants to be queen. Now, on the surface, this may seem like a harmless update for modern audiences. But Disney fans, especially longtime lovers of the original, felt it was a complete rejection of what made Snow White special. The original Snow White is about innocence, kindness, and dreaming of a better life. It's a fairy tale, not a political statement. Fans argued that if Disney wanted to tell a completely different story, why not create a new character instead of rewriting an old one? Things got worse when past clips of Zegler resurfaced, where she came across as dismissive and sarcastic toward fans who were skeptical of the remake. In one clip, she even joked about how she hated the original movie as a kid. Suddenly, the backlash wasn't just about casting or story changes, it became personal. Some fans accused her of being disrespectful to the legacy of Snow White, while others felt she was outright mocking them. Segment 2, Geopolitical Drama, Godot vs. Zegler. Just when you thought things couldn't get any messier, the political drama started. Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, has been outspoken about her support for Israel. A former member of the Israeli Defense Forces, she has previously made statements defending Israel's actions and has faced criticism for her views. Then, there's Rachel Zegler. She has been openly pro-Palestinian since at least 2021, posting about human rights issues and supporting Palestinian causes. With the ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict, some audiences have taken sides based on the political views of the film's two leading stars. Social media became a battleground, with people calling for boycotts from both sides. Disney, which generally avoids political controversy, now had a major problem. No matter what they did, they were bound to upset someone. Disney's controlled premiere, Damage Control Mode. With so many controversies surrounding the film, Disney made an unexpected move. Instead of hosting a massive Hollywood premiere with full press coverage, they scaled back the event to a controlled screening at El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles. Only Disney's own in-house media crew will be covering it. No external reporters, no interviews with the cast, just a safe, carefully managed event. This decision speaks volumes. Normally, Disney loves rolling out the red carpet, but here they seem more focused on minimizing damage than promoting the film. What this means for Disney's future. So, where does this leave Disney? It's clear that live-action remakes aren't the guaranteed successes they once were. More and more, audiences are pushing back against these reimaginings, demanding original content rather than endless retellings. If Snow White flops, it could be a wake-up call for Disney to rethink its strategy. Maybe it's time for them to focus less on remaking old classics and more on creating new ones. What do you think? Will Snow White manage to succeed despite all the backlash, or is it doomed to be one of Disney's biggest flops? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss out on the biggest stories in Hollywood. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on our channel. Welcome back to our channel where we break down the biggest Hollywood stories. Today we're diving into Disney's Snow White live-action remake, a movie that was supposed to be a grand celebration of a beloved classic, but has instead turned into one of Disney's most controversial projects ever. From major casting backlash and a complete rewrite of the story to political drama between its two lead actresses and Disney scrambling to control the damage, this movie has been in a constant storm of controversy. Now, with news that Disney has scaled back its Hollywood premiere, limiting press access and controlling coverage, many are wondering, is Disney trying to hide something? Today we're breaking it all down, how we got here, what went wrong, and what this means for Disney's future. Is this remake doomed before it even hits theaters? Let's get into it. How did we get here? The rise of live-action remakes. Let's rewind a bit. Over the past decade, Disney has leaned heavily into live-action remakes of its animated classics. It started as a way to cash in on nostalgia, and in some cases it worked. 2017's Beauty and the Beast made over $1.2 billion at the box office. 2019's The Lion King, despite being criticized for lacking emotion, raked in a massive $1.6 billion. But then, the cracks started to show. Some remakes, like Mulan and Dumbo, failed to impress audiences, and the formula of modernizing classic stories started to wear thin. Instead of capturing the magic of the originals, many fans felt these remakes were soulless cash grabs that removed key elements that made the classics special in the first place. And now, Snow White, the movie that started Disney's fairy tale empire, was next in line for a remake. On paper it seemed like a safe bet. But instead it's become a PR nightmare. The casting controversy, she's not Snow White. The first big controversy surrounding Snow White was the casting of Rachel Zegler. Now, let's be clear, Zegler is an incredibly talented actress. Her role in West Side Story proved she has the singing and acting chops to lead a Disney musical. But many fans immediately took issue with the casting choice. Snow White has been iconically described as having skin as white as snow. The character's pale complexion is literally part of her name. So when Disney cast Zegler, who is Latina, as the fair-skinned princess, it sparked debates about whether Disney was ignoring the source material. Disney defended the decision, saying they wanted a modern and diverse adaptation. But this choice fueled debates about Hollywood's approach to casting. Should classic characters be race-swapped, or should new characters be created instead? The Seven Dwarfs, Disney's strange revision. If the casting debate wasn't enough, Disney's decision to change the Seven Dwarfs added even more fuel to the fire. Originally, reports suggested that Disney planned to remove the dwarfs entirely and replace them with magical creatures. This was seemingly in response to actor Peter Dinklage, who criticized the original portrayal of the characters as outdated. But this decision backfired. Many actors with dwarfism spoke out, saying this change was actually erasing representation. The dwarfs may have been a fairy tale concept, but for many actors they were one of the few opportunities for roles in major films. Disney later backtracked slightly, featuring one actual dwarf in the group, while the rest were diverse actors of various heights. But by then the damage had been done. Fans saw this as another unnecessary change that didn't respect the source material. Rachel Zegler's comments, fueling the backlash. At this point, Disney might have been able to control the narrative, but then, Rachel Zegler made things even worse. In multiple interviews, Zegler openly criticized the original 1937 film. She said the romantic story in the original was outdated. She called Prince Charming weird, and said Snow White wouldn't be dreaming of love. She emphasized that the remake would be a feminist retelling, where Snow White is a leader instead of a princess waiting to be saved. Now, in today's world, audiences love strong female leads, but the problem wasn't modernizing Snow White. The problem was how Zegler mocked the original story. For many fans, Snow White isn't about weakness, it's about kindness, resilience, and finding happiness. Zegler's comments came off as disrespectful, as if she was ashamed of the original movie. When backlash grew, old clips surfaced of her being sarcastic and dismissive toward fans who didn't like the changes. This only fueled the controversy further. Gal Gadot's Rachel Zegler, political divide. Then we entered political territory. Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, has been vocal in her support for Israel and previously served in the Israeli Defense Forces. Following recent conflicts, she openly expressed her stance, which led to mixed reactions online. On the other side, Rachel Zegler has been a long-time pro-Palestinian supporter, having posted about the issue since at least 2021. With ongoing geopolitical tensions, the contrast between the two actresses has sparked heated debates online. Some boycotted the film for Gadot's stance, others for Zegler's. Disney, which normally avoids politics, now found itself in the middle of an unavoidable divide. Disney's controlled premiere, damage control. Now, Disney has scaled back the film's Hollywood premiere. Instead of a grand red carpet event, media access will be heavily restricted. Only Disney's in-house crew will film the event, and external reporters won't be allowed to interview the cast. For a $269 million film, this is highly unusual. Normally, Disney would want maximum publicity, so why are they limiting press interactions? Simple. They don't want more controversy. Disney is clearly in damage control mode, trying to avoid more viral moments that could further hurt the film. Will this be Disney's biggest flop? With everything that's happened, the question remains, will this film succeed or is it already doomed? Live-action remakes aren't guaranteed hits anymore, and Snow White has already alienated a big portion of its potential audience. If it flops, Disney may finally rethink its obsession with remakes. If it succeeds, we may see even more radical reinterpretations of Disney classics. What do you think? Will Snow White be a success or a total disaster? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe and hit the bell for more deep dives into Hollywood's biggest stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on our channel.